Welcome to the Neverland.
Alright, so hello everyone. Peony's official kit is revealed in the game. Let's talk about the fairy and her possible builds. Uh, First of all, we should look at her kit. So this is the fairy actually, and she gives a lot of defensive bonus like base defense, crit. Crit is not defensive. Break for PvP build, and then tenacity. If you look at her basic stats, they're very average. Like the defense is really average, but HP is great, attack is great. Just like a normal our average holy fairies. So, anyways, let's talk about her passive skill first. Alright, so active while Peony is deployed. Master's attack plus 2% when the master takes damage. So whenever you this fairy whenever you take damage when this fairy is active, you gain a 2% of damage bonus. Also you gain warding. Actually you get 2% of attack bonus, not damage bonus. Anyways, so you also get a warding crescent for 6 seconds. So you have to receive damage so that you can get these bonuses. This effect can trigger once every 27 seconds. So it's not stackable, but it's really great. Warding Crescent. It gives you 3% of damage reduction, and more importantly, crit damage reduction by 20%, which is really important here. The rest of the stats will increase as you start up this fairy, but the crit damage bonus, crit damage reduction stays the same. So crit damage reduction is a unique stat, the first fairy who gives you crit damage reduction from her passive. So yeah, I am very impressed with the stats. Anyways, so if I had to rate her passive, it's really unique and you can say very much stabilized passive for holy tank fairy. I will probably give it 8.5 out of 10. Because of this crit damage reduction, this passive skill is really cool. Alright, so let's talk about the active skill. Peony Lights, Subblinding Crystal Melody Candle, whatever the skill's name is. So opening an illusory barrier illuminated by moonbeam. Creativity. Anyway, so dealing damage equals to blah 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 percentage of master's attack to the enemy in the targeted area, and applying Moon Palace Covenant to the enemy hit for 6 seconds on cast. What it does, it increases master's attack by 10% and break by 10% for 6 seconds. Is really cool. As a PvP fairy or maybe a tank fairy, this attack bonus and break bonus is really appreciated. Moon Palace Covenant reduces damage dealt by enemy by 10% when the damage dealt to master exceeds by 15% of master's max HP, stuns them for 1.5 seconds. So basically it reduces damage whenever you get hit by the enemy, and if the damage exceeds 15% of your max HP, you stun the enemies for 1.5 seconds, which is really cool and kind of scary. Simulate trial, so S trial, let's call it S trial because this pronunciation is really hard. So this ability also applies to the master. So when the master deals damage to the enemy with Moon Palace Covenant, so it's related to the previous debuff you apply on the enemy. Alright, so it has 30% chance to deal additional damage equals to 150% of master's attack. Whoa, it reminds me of Slugter Wilco. and it's really scary. uh, Triggering up to 6 times. Stabilized, you can say. Actually, it's really cool for a 1-star fairy to provide this much in the first impression. Let's see what she will do as we start up this fairy. Level 2 enhancement. Alright, so duration of the buff effect provided by the skill increases to 8 seconds. The Moon Palace Covenant triggers stun, and the stun duration increased by 2.5%. So it was 1.5%, it increased 2.5%, and the duration increased 2 seconds more, which means that you have more chances, more opportunity to trigger the S trial damage bonus. What happens afterwards? So when you level her up to level 5, like to rate 3, actually the star, damage increases or whatever. So upon casting the skill, master gains a shield equals to 15% of max HP for 6 seconds, which is really mandatory for a tank fairy. Like, if she can provide a shield, how can you call her a tanker? Alright, so S trial, it restores HP to master equals to 50% of the damage value. Whoa, so it also restores HP. She provides you shield, she restores your HP, she gives you damage bonus, she gives you additional damage bonus, and also she gives you crit damage reduction. She provides you a huge amount of attack bonus, and now this healing. It's really crazy. So let's see her max out stat. Damage increases, whatever. The trigger rate of the S trial increased by 45%, and it triggers up to 8 times. The additional damage increases to 250% of master's attack. Wow! It's like a level 12 Slugter will core, or maybe you can kind of compare it with a literal critical hit. Like, it's crazy, man. A 250% of master's attack, like, it's really crazy. Though I am kinda happy the trigger rate is not increased to 100%. Like, it's 45%. Trigger rate is 45%, and you have to trigger it between 8 seconds. Though you have 8 attempts, so if you are lucky and you land 8 times, you can literally one hit knock out the enemy. Like, not one hit knockout, but you can knock them out very early. So yeah, it's kind of stabilized because the trigger rate is not 100%, it's 45%, less than 50%. So you will probably trigger it twice to thrice in a row, but still 250% of damage bonus. It's really, really impressive. Specifically if you are using a class with high hit rate like Ninja Blazing Owl, you will almost certainly land 6 to 7 hits. So you will almost certainly land this huge amount of damage bonus 6 to 7 times if you are using a high DPS class like Ninja, but still not guaranteed. Like, there is a 45% chance. I can say it's stabilized, but it's kind of scary. Aggressive tanker, we can call her. Right, so let's talk about her kit. Peony is a holy tank. Her main role is aggressive tank. She stuns the enemy and gives attack bonus, a shield, a massive amount of HP restoration, a massive amount of damage bonus, a huge amount of defensive bonus as well. It is recommended to make a tank build with her. So basically, you should not go for a crit build, PvE build or something like that. You should make a tank build probably, but you can also go with Ninja, I guess, but I prefer tank build with her. Like, she is the pure mid tank DPS material. So let's talk about the tank build, the team recommendation. Of course, Peony is in this main spotlight. Next best in sloth fairy I will suggest is going to be Scarlet Boom, because Scarlet Boom provides you a lot of break and her damage ceiling is really high in PvP. Currently one of the best fairies in PvP for the current meta. Then I will recommend you Nightshade, because Nightshade is one of the mandatory fairies in the Holy Echo. Like, she is the mandatory fairy for Holy because of the appearance suppression. I don't know if my pronunciation is wrong. Anyway, so Nightshade is very mandatory for her area of effect damage and her special status effect. Like, also she gives a lot of debuff and self buff. Alright, so the fourth fairy is going to be either Butterfly Orchid or Hibiscus. Why Butterfly Orchid? Because what Butterfly Orchid is, Butterfly Orchid's been in the god tier for a very long time. Like, she is one of the most praised fairy for her mid-tank DPS, which is still recognized, which is still very, you can say, very effective in the current meta. Like, she restores HP while dealing damage and she gets a lot of damage ceiling. Not to mention, if we are talking about Hibiscus, her passive restores HP, her active restores HP, and it's a team-wide healing actually, if I am not wrong. She also provides lots of bonus. So when you are going to choose Orchid, because Orchid gives you better service when she is maxed out, like in a higher star, but Hibiscus gives very good service even in low stars. So if you can manage lot of in-game payment or something like that, like if you can manage a max out fairy, you should definitely go for Orchid. And if you want a stable fairy even in low stars, you should go for Hibiscus. Both are great for the fourth best in sloth fairy recommendation. Anyway, so let's talk about the class recommendation. If we're talking about the best class recommendation for a tank build, it's going to be Gladiator plus Priest. It's pure tank. We can also go for Gladiator plus Judge, or maybe Berserker plus Priest for mid-tank DPS. If you want Pierce Red, you can go for Ninja. That's also a great choice and always an option, because Ninja plus Priest is always an option. Like, it provides you necessary damage increase and damage reduction bonuses and tenacity. If we are talking about will combination, so this is will, W-I-L-L, will. I don't know why the transcript is saying will, like probably my problem in pronunciation, but this is will combination, willpower. So hopefully this time the transcript will not mess up things. So basically the suggested will combination are going to be 2 God Bless plus 2 Flow plus 2 God Bless Heal plus 16 God Bless Heal. So I'm going to make a, you can say, will combination will guide video soon, but for now let's just follow this chart. So the first recommendation is 2 God Bless plus 2 Flow will course and 16 God Bless Heal. The second recommendation is 2 Rigidity plus 2 Frenzy plus 2 Smart Shift wills. So 2 Rigidity will course, 2 Frenzy will course, and 2 Smart Shift will course. So this is my will recommendation and class recommendation. And let's jump into the next topic. So here's the question: is she a must-have fairy? Is Peony a must-have fairy? The answer is no. Actually, the answer is depends on your build. So she's only here to keep the Holy in meta. As you already know, Holy provides the most financial support for the game. So it's really important to maintain the Holy to maintain Holy in the meta. She's just a meta fairy alongside new fairies like Borage. She's just a high S tier fairy. She's actually not just a S tier fairy, she's a high S tier fairy. So she's in the meta and she is close to the top tier fairies, or like Borage or like the top tier meta broken fairies. So she's just below the standard. I'm not criticizing her, I'm not downplaying this fairy, but she is not as overrated. I mean, she's not as overpowered as Borage or the other meta fairies like her. Anyways, so she's just a meta fairy alongside the new fairy like Borage. She is a high S tier fairy because she does not have a God tier universally recognizable status. Why is it that? Like, she is basically a tank build fairy, and you cannot use her in a crit build or in a pure offensive build. Like, you can probably put her in builds like that, but the best performance is only available in pure tank builds. Unlike Borage, who can completely nullify enemy defense with her rapid attacking skills, or neither like Ains, who can turn the entire crit into damage increase and break to give up near guaranteed unblocked damage. So she is near the God tier fairies, but she is not the God tier fairy, just below that level. Anyways, so she is a pure tank, and if I had to rate her, it would be 8.5 out of 10 or maybe 9 out of 10, but not 10 out of 10. She is the best holy tank one can ask for, but she is not the meta breaking God tier fairy. So she is a meta fairy. She is not a meta changing fairy like Borage or Cactus or previously Melodic Marigold or previously Ains or Natsu maybe. So she is not a meta breaking fairy, and if I have to recommend free-to-play players, you should definitely skip this fairy. First of all, I don't recommend free-to-play players to play Holy Echo. Like, it's one of the worst choices you can ever make in this game. So basically, if you're a free-to-play player, you can completely ignore this fairy. If you are going for a PvP, you should know the brief information for this fairy. I've already explained this, but you don't have to go for this fairy as a free-to-play player. Always focus on the other Echo rather than focusing on Holy, which is completely out of our league. So anyways, the video ends here, and I'm very glad that Neverland did not turn her into a overpowered killing machine by giving this huge amount of damage, 100% trigger rate. So yeah, she is kind of manageable, kind of standard, kind of very you can say recognizable, and not a meta breaking fairy, like not giving the Holy Echo another nuke which will completely blur the existence of other Echoes and other new meta fairies. So I really respect this choice, and I really like this fairy. So my video ends here. Hopefully you like this video. Subscribe my channel and join my newly created Instagram page. I provided the link in my channel in my bio, so feel free to visit, and I will probably start making some edits or maybe posting my guides online. So also recommending to join my Discord server, because I will be posting all these guide pages in the server channel. So yeah, see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.